Good. Okay. Good. All right. Hi, everyone. It's Kino here. Thanks so much for joining me on day 16 of this Ashtanga Yoga Challenge. Before we get into today's practice today, I want to just take a moment and congratulate you for making it across the middle. We have now crossed, not the finish line, but we've crossed the midpoint. And so many people drop off the challenge at around this point. So I just want to give you a special congratulations and a special shout out that says, yay, I see you, I acknowledge you. You've been putting in lots of good effort here in this challenge. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, traditional psychology says that it takes 21 days to start to build a new habit. So I want you to build the habit of coming in and checking in with me and letting me be your guide into the spiritual journey of yoga. After 21 days together, hopefully we've created not only a connection between each other, but a connection between a community of yogis. Look at all the people who are commenting and sharing these videos and joining this practice. It's really something magical, something mystical, something very, very special. So I encourage you for today's challenge to like each other's comments and actually have a little bit of feedback to each other and join a sense of community, because when yoga opens your heart, there's nothing more than you want to do other than kind of share that good space with others. So I'm happy to be sharing the good space of my yoga practice with you, and I want you to know that you're special to me because you're here doing the practice. So for today's practice, we're going to focus on the simple yoga twisting and the principles of yogic twisting. So the posture that we'll be working up towards is called Marichasana C, and this is one of these asanas that can be a little confusing, but if you can understand it from the paradigm of basic yoga twisting, you'll be able to have a more kind of accessible entry point into how to practice the asana. So I really like to deconstruct the Ashtanga yoga method, and as I mentioned before, as we accumulate some of these tutorials, we'll be flowing through into a practice. I've got good news for you. Tomorrow we're going to do a full-length beginner half primary series practice, and that'll be live streamed. It'll be just like this, so you can tune in and continue your work in the Ashtanga yoga method. It might be the hardest class up until now, so be prepared. Save up a little bit of energy. We won't hit it too hard today because we're going to save up energy for that half primary practice for tomorrow. Now, you'll notice that I don't have a yoga mat, and you don't need a yoga mat to do these shorter tutorials, but definitely for tomorrow's full-length beginner half primary series practice, you do want to have a yoga mat, or at least be practicing on a carpet so you don't sweat or slide too much. There'll be much more sweating going on tomorrow. So let's come to a comfortable seated position. We're going to initiate in the space of our practice together today, just with the sound Om. So bring your hands together, a nice long deep breath in. As you exhale, rest your hands down to any comfortable position. Let's begin with a few moments of mindfulness. Check in with your breath. How's your breath feeling? Check in with your body. How's the body feeling? Do you notice the positive impact of the accumulation of now what is 16 days of the Ashtanga yoga method? Check in with the quality of your mind and your emotions, and just notice what the frequency of thought seems to feel like. Get a sense of the texture of that inner world. And then allow yourself to experience a long, deep inhale, connecting into the activation of the pelvic floor. And then as you exhale, let's open the eyes. Very good. And let's begin with 5 deep yogic breathing. So 5 deep breaths with sound. Place the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth behind your 2 front teeth. Activate the muscles of the pelvic floor and the lower belly muscles as well by drawing them in. Not too tight, but just keep like a nice inward direction. Then 5 breaths and breathe together with me. Inhale. Top of the breath in. Exhale. Squeeze pelvic floor. Inhale. Top of the breath in, exhale. Bottom of the breath out, squeeze pelvic floor, inhale. Top of the breath in, exhale. Inhale. Top of the breath in, squeeze pelvic floor, exhale. Last one, big breath in and exhale. Very good. Try to maintain that deep yogic breathing for the entire time we're engaged in the journey of asana. Now let's do a little bit of twisting. Inhale, draw the navel in and use that lengthening position of the spine. Exhale, lean over to the right side. And as you lean over to the right side, just allow yourself to kind of do a lateral stretch of the torso. And as the lateral stretch of the torso really just kind of leans over, you could let your left hand rest on your left thigh for a moment, and we'll just keep it easy here. Then let's add in the arm. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and over. Oh, that's so good. And really get that sense of lengthening. It's looking good. Keep breathing. Let the movement really connect your breath and your body, so you can feel this breath-body connection, which is just so magical. Now let's add in a spinal twist. So exhale, I want you to twist, easy, over to the right side. Just get a little fold and twist and fold. Stay for one more breath, then inhale, back to the center, all the way up. Good, shake it out. We're going to do the other side. So inhale, lift up along the spinal axis, and then exhale, just easy over to the left side. You could place your right hand on your right thigh for a moment, just to help keep it grounded. If your right hip pops up off the ground, you probably have gone a bit too far, so you might want to just dial it down a little bit. Remember, no competition in yoga, nowhere to go, nothing to prove. Just be here now, tune into your breath, see if you can deepen it. Tune into your body, see if you can just feel it and be with it a little bit. Very good. Then inhale, sweep the arm and get that sense of lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. Really get the feeling of a deep sense of elongation, energy rising up through the central channel of the body. And then exhale, just easy, twist it over. It's looking good. Hold it there for a moment, draw the navel in. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, just a little shake it out. I like to always just kind of shake it out a little bit after some of those little twists and movements. So now we're going to do a little bit of a just pure spinal twist. So this is a different movement. First we did the lateral stretch. Now you're going to keep your spine aligned along the center line, and inhale, lift up through the center line. Exhale, spinal twist. So you're going to take your hands and open them up in line with your pubic bone, left hand in front, right hand to the back, and gaze to the right. We'll stay for 5. 1. Notice any tugs or pulls along the muscles of the body. 2. Deep breaths. 3. 4. Remember to keep the navel in. 5. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale here. We'll do the other side now. Ready? Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Line up the hands with the pubic bone and with the sacrum, and just notice where that twist kind of tugs along the body. And we'll hold for 5. 1, 2, keep the navel in, strong pelvic floor. 3, almost there. 4, keep working. 5, good job. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, just shake it out. Let's come into child's pose. So if you want to just move on over to the side, I'm going to move my little prop installation over to the side and come onto your knees. If child's pose is difficult for you, you can grab a pillow and place it between your knees. Otherwise, tuck your tailbone a little bit and then exhale, child's pose. Top of the head down. 5 breaths. 1, steady breathing. 2, this helps just relax the nervous system. 3, 4, almost there. 5, that's good. Now come up onto your hands and knees, right there. And now let's do thread the needle, which is a wonderful way to work your internal rotation of the shoulders while you begin to move into a little bit of twisting. So activate inside your pelvic floor, press into your left hand, inhale, open the chest to the right side, exhale, thread the needle under, and watch that right shoulder. It's gonna internally rotate a little bit as you extend the left arm over. Let's hold for 5. 1, easy does it. 2, try to keep the navel in and notice if the hip is hiking. If it is, just kind of try to align the pelvis, all right? 3, 4, almost there. Looking good. Feel the little twist through the spine as the shoulder kind of gets nicely tucked in place. Good. Now, let's test this out. Inhale, lift your left arm, internally rotate the shoulder, drop it a little forward, and now feel like you can sink a little back. So this gets you a little bit closer to the experience of actually articulating the twist through the shoulders. Just stay for one moment, then release your arm down. Good. Take that left hand forward, we're gonna do the other side, okay? Inhale, lift as you open the chest, looking good. Exhale, twist it over. All right, I'm gonna just move my hair out of the way. And then extend your right arm over. Watch the alignment of the pelvis, and we'll just hold for 1, 2, deep breathing, concentrate on your breath. Feel your body. 3, the navel is in. 4, and 5. Exhale, you can practice sinking a little bit down, then lift the arm and spiral over. So you might not go all the way down, might just be a little down, and we'll just hold it for a moment. Very good. Let's come on back to the center. Okay, so now we're back in the center. You ready for downward dog? So you're gonna curl the toes under, inhale. Let's come on up to downward dog. I'm just gonna set up here. Okay, 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, almost there, 4, and 5. Let's step. I'm going to step the left foot forward and sink the right knee down. All right, when you sink the right knee down, you can point the toe. Now let's do an open twist. So take your right hand on the ground and then inhale, lift up. And we'll hold that. Now, actually, I know I just said to point the foot. Would you actually change and curl the toe under? Then we can lift the hips up, and this is a nice, easy open twist. Open twists are great if you're feeling any pain in your hip, or if there's any other reason you might not want to fold deeply into your abdomen. So we can hold it here for another breath. 1 more breath, and then exhale, let's sink the knee down. So now, let's point the foot. Good. Draw the navel in, and let's glide over. So this posture is quite hard. Hands in prayer, and just easy twist. So this is really gonna be your indication whether Marichasana C is gonna be accessible for you or not. Let's curl those toes under again, and bring it up. Good. Remember your lateral stretch, remember your spinal twist. And this is quite difficult. So this is actually harder than what we'll do for Marichasana C, so you could consider this kind of a peak moment right now. Let's stay for 1 more breath. All right, drop that right knee down, square your shoulders. Shall we throw in a little plank in Chaturanga? Why not? Inhale, come on back to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing, big breath in. Exhale, downward facing, big breath out. Let's do the other side. Come down with the right knee, and let's keep the toes curled under. Go for an open twist and lift the hips up. 1, 2, 3, almost there, 4, and 5. Now you're going to sink the knee down, draw the navel in, and lift over. Now we can take the hands in prayer. You can really look back behind you. Only if you feel comfortable. Let's pop that back leg up, and we stay for 5. 1, nice and easy. Keep breathing, keep twisting. 2, stabilize your shoulder girdle. 3, almost there. 4, 5. Okay, let's sink that knee down. Square your shoulders. All right, how you doing? Inhale back to plank, get a good plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing, and downward facing. Now we're gonna come to seated. So cross your feet and easy, come on down to seated. So let's actually begin now to work Marichasana C position. So I've got the blanket here. I'm gonna sit on the blanket. So as we start off with the modified versions of the asanas, I want to show you kind of from the front what Marichasana C looks like. So sitting on the blanket will help you pivot the pelvis just a little bit forward. Then, and this is an important thing to set up, as you draw the right knee up into the chest, there's a little bit of space between your right foot and your left thigh. So set up for that now. Then, to prepare for our modified version of Marichasana C, hook the left knee around, hook the left knee with the left elbow. So really kind of just snuggle it in. Then lift the center of the chest up, grounding through the right hip, and take your right hand over to the side, and we'll just look to the right. 1. So you keep yourself firmly grounded along the center line. The left leg is very active and the left heel is rooting into the ground. At the same time, you're trying to bring your torso onto the outside of your thigh, but don't worry about doing anything other than hooking the knee with the left arm. 4, we're almost there. 5, good job. Inhale back to the center and just really equalize the body. Exhale back to Dandasana position. Now, let's show you from the side, all right? Starting off in Dandasana position, using that slightly elevated position of the pelvis. Then you're gonna close the knee joint and bring it all the way in so you can pivot a little bit forward. Now, without worrying about trying to bind your hands or anything like that, feel the dynamics of twisting. So you're gonna hug the knee with the right elbow, and then you can think about grounding down through the left hip. That grounding down is the foundation from which you lift up and spiral away. So then take the left hand behind you, and then just easy, get a little deeper twist, a deeper twist. So you're doing 2 things. You're laterally moving the torso to the side and at the same time twisting along the spinal axis. So very good. Let's look left. 1, 2, keep breathing. 3, 4, almost there. And so one other thing that this blanket does is it helps keep weight from dumping into the lower back, so you can really lift a little bit up and forward. Looking good. 1 more breath. 5, inhale back to the center, and you can feel almost your whole insides around the organ system just kind of unraveling. Let's come off of our friend the blanket. Cross your feet. We're gonna find our way back through plank. So inhale, easy, find a good plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. From downward facing, let's come on down to seated and straighten the legs. Okay, so now let's say that you feel comfortable sitting on the floor, but you're not sure how to access Marichasana C. So when you bend the right knee up into the chest, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is to twist the pelvis. So you can see now, if you watch my hips, if as I twist, I move my pelvis over, then I'm twisting around the left hip and potentially destabilizing the sacrum. So when you're working with Marichasana C, try to keep the hips as level as possible. Then draw the navel in and move your torso over to the side. Your left leg is providing stability and foundation. And as you move your torso over to the side, if that left shoulder drops below the knee, at that point you can internally rotate the left shoulder and prepare to bind your hands. If when you reach back your hands are very far away, you can grab a yoga strap to the strap. And this should give the shoulders a little bit more space. Keep your body weight pitching forward so that you can increase the hip flexion on the right side. After about 5 breaths, if you were using the strap, lean over to the side, pushing your weight into your right fingertips. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, Dandasana position. Now I'll show you the other side. Draw the navel in And you could do this as well where you just hug and twist. But if you feel that you're ready to potentially move a little deeper, be careful not to do that twist of the hips and try to keep the hips as level as possible. Then draw the navel in and move your torso over to the side. Try not to round the back and lean back to go over, but instead start off with that deep hug. Using the strength of the pelvic floor, move your body over to the side. And here's the place where you check it out. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you just move the hug onto the outside of the knee and you can look left. It's also totally a good version of the asana. Now, if you extend the arm and that right shoulder drops below the knee, then you can bend your arm around. And then this helps you internally rotate the shoulder. Keep your collarbone very broad and long and avoid displacing the collarbone. Push your body weight forward, stabilize the right leg, and then you can reach around, maybe find the fingers, or maybe use that strap, and we'll look over to the left. 1, 2, stabilize the pelvis. 3, draw the navel in. 4, almost there, look left. 5, good job. Release, take the fingertips behind you, uncurl the arm, back to Dandasana to stabilize. Cross your feet. Let's inhale, we pick it up. Exhale, get a good plank position and Chaturanga. You can always come all the way down to the ground for your Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, big breath in. Exhale, downward facing, big breath out. Now, cross your feet. Come on down to seated, and we're gonna do a comfortable seated position for about 5 breaths. So I want you now to tune into your sacrum and draw the navel in and up so you can really just equalize after those deep twists. Turn the palms open, tips of the index fingers together, and now let's gaze at the nose. 1, deep breathing. 2, 3, gazing at the nose tip. 4, 5, good job. Soften your chest, soften the arms, and let's turn a little bit to the side. I want you to roll your spine gently down. Okay, constructive rest position for a moment. And as you lie in constructive rest, the knees spiral into each other, the sacrum tucks under, and we'll just give the body a moment to kind of come back to itself. So 5 breaths here. 1. Calm the nervous system. 2, 3, 4, almost there. Now we're going to do one more posture before we take a little rest. So I want you now to walk your feet in towards each other. Open the hands and then hold underneath the knees for a moment to prepare. Then extend your legs and take your hands on the ground. This is Viparita Karani. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. 1, gaze at the toes. 2, you can open the toes a little or you can point them. I kind of like to point the feet. It's really, and point the feet all the way through the toes. It just helps me feel connected to like a line of energy running through the legs. But if you like to open the feet in what you could call flointing the feet, that's fine too. I just prefer, if possible, not to flex the feet in this posture. All right, so here or here. All right. 3, try to engage the legs a little bit. This helps encourage blood circulation. Draw the navel in. 4, 5, good job. Bend the knees, take the feet on the ground, open them up, and let's lie down. You're gonna take a little rest for a moment. Close the eyes and just take a small rest here. And as we're resting, see if you can return your attention to that little bit of mindfulness that we did at the beginning of this short practice. You can tune into your breath, tune into your body, tune into your mind and your emotions, and see if there's perhaps a thread that links them all together. Some connection through body, mind, and spirit, some intimation or hint towards the eternal contained within yourself. Notice the emotions, if there's a little bit of happiness, a little joy, a little peace. Notice if there's not as well, and that's okay too. You're just here for the experience, cultivating an attitude of peace and equanimity. On the next exhalation, let's start to reawaken the body, your fingers, toes, hands and feet, your arms, your legs, back to constructive rest. Draw the knees into the chest and just say to your body, thank you for a moment. Thank you, my body. Good work. Exhale, let's come on over to the side. Rest. All the way back up to seated. Take a moment. Close your eyes. For a moment, reflect on the journey of twisting and notice the obstacles and notice the gifts, the grace, and the blessing as well. Then gently bring your hands together, a long deep breath in. As you exhale, softly open the eyes and you can let your hands rest down. Very good. Good work. So as you continue your journey into the practice of yoga, it's almost like reading deeper and deeper into the volumes of, like an endless masterpiece book. So there's just always another one coming, which means that there's always deeper and deeper layers. There's the physical practice, which constantly changes. There's the emotional aspect of the practice, which is always fluctuating one thing to another. There's the mental aspect of the practice, watching the thoughts. And then there's the spiritual journey, which is very hard to put your finger directly on, but it's something that you can feel and you can get a sense of. And this is that intimation, that hint towards the eternal. The connection of the individual soul, which is sort of, the I, the sense of me, in complete dissolution or in merging with the cosmic soul, what you could call God or the divinity. So when we think about that, we think, wow, so yoga is a space of worship, a space of prayer, a space for me to connect back into all that is holy and all that is sacred and all that is pure, both within myself, and to understand that as within, so without. So that what this saying means is that as you experience, or as I experience more peace within myself, then I will experience more peace in my life. As I experience conflict within myself, then I experience conflict in my life. And this way, the spiritual journey of yoga has the power to transform so much, because as you become more peaceful, more whole as a human being, then you make the world, your immediate world, a better and more peaceful place. That's why I continue to practice, and I hope that's why you'll continue to practice as well. As long as there's a little bit more peace, a little bit more happiness in your life today, then yoga, my friends, is working. So thanks everyone. Remember to stay tuned for the practice tomorrow. As I mentioned before, tomorrow's practice will be a full-length beginner practice going through the half primary series. So expect to be a little bit sweaty, a little bit sore, and expect to be a little bit challenged, but I'll do my best to keep the pace slow enough. You have to remember what modifications, what versions of each asana are right for you to make it your practice. And remember, that little piece that you carry off the mat, that is the heart of the spiritual journey of yoga. Thanks everyone. Namaste.